Welcome to another edition of Bet with Bobano. It is Tuesday, August 27th. Ian Cameron. Cam Lynch, the normal Tuesday guest who joins me on this show. He's on vacation this week, so he'll rejoin the show next week. So just us today, and we will talk, of course, as we always do, MLB, the entire Tuesday card. Looking forward to it and breaking it down. But before we get to that, as always, we take care of our business and our stuff we got to promote. And first and foremost, what we want to promote is bitwallet.bet. Okay, this is a very good cryptocurrency sports book and casino. I've started using it the last few weeks. It's a very good book as far as for those of you interested in using cryptocurrency to fund your account. It is a very good, it's an excellent book. It's got great options as far as North American, international sports, live same-game parlay betting, live casino dealers for all the casino games. It's a really good book, and if you have cryptocurrency available to you and you want to use a crypto sports book, this is the one I would recommend. Sign up with the link you see on the bottom of the screen, and it's also in the comments section below this video, bitwallet.bet/affiliate/Ian. Click that link to register and sign up with a brand new account. And after you do that, you will get a 50% deposit bonus on each of your first 3 crypto deposits with bitwallet.bet. So again, make sure you check that out. Sign up using the affiliate link, bitwallet.bet/affiliate/Ian, and you'll get 50% deposit bonus on each of your first 3 crypto deposits at bitwallet.bet. All right, as far as the subscription options at Dub Club, like I said, 6 months is back to the normal price, but you can still get 1 month all sports, $75, 3 months all sports, $200, 6 months all sports, $400, 1 year all sports, $750 at Dub Club. Make sure you sign up there. 22.2 units of profit, NFL and college football season last year combined. Slightly profitable MLB season this year. We're plus units in the CFL to this point of the season, and we still have plenty MLB and CFL ahead, along with college football, the first full slate coming up this week, NFL week 1 coming up next week. So now is the time you want to subscribe at Dub Club, where you will get the high volume card, all sports on a daily basis, every side total and player prop gets posted there at Dub Club. So make sure you sign up. Again, 1 month all sports, $75, 3 months, $200, 6 months, $400, 1 year all sports, $750 at Dub Club. And if you're looking for a little bit of a lesser volume, top plays and best bets only for me, then make sure you check out SoBet, $9.95 per month. That is where you go for that. Best bets, top plays only in all sports. SoBet, $9.95 per month with that. All right, let's get into the rest of this not the rest of. We haven't had a game yet today. The entire Tuesday MLB card still ahead of us. Let's begin with the Cubs and the Pirates. Justin Steele, the lefty for the Cubs, and we have a returning pitcher from the IL in Jared Jones for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Cubs minus 120 road favorites, 7.5 being the total here in this game. That's a pretty cheap number on Steele now with this price coming down. There's been some Pittsburgh money. Steele has pitched pretty well here. The Cubs are 4-0 in his last 4 starts. They've been winning consistently when he's been on the mound. He's pitched pretty well during each of those outings. Steele enters this game 2 runs or less in 4 straight starts. I mean, at this price currently, I would definitely lean Cubs. I have not bet it yet. I don't know if I will. And the one thing that's holding me off a little bit is, when you come off a loss like that, if you're Pittsburgh, 18-8 last night, I had the over. It couldn't have been easier in that game. When you come off a loss like that, you definitely want to atone for it. And you want to play better the next day. And Jared Jones does have very good numbers here at PNC Park. His ERA is at 2.18 here at home this year. He's pitched very well in this ballpark. It's definitely something that would concern me slightly. I mean, the under has taken money. I'm always leery of the pitcher coming off the injured list, but Jones does have good numbers at home. Steele's in great form. I could see this being a bit of a lower scoring game after we saw 26 runs combined in the game with these two teams last night. I think we'll probably see something a little different. So haven't gotten involved. I don't think I will, but I definitely lean to the Cubs, lean to the under here in this one. All right, next up, Kansas City, Cleveland. Michael Lorenz and Gavin Williams. We've got Cleveland minus 160, home favorites, 9 the total. I'm going to run it back with the over again with the Royals and the Guardians. Best bet on the show yesterday for me was Kansas City, Cleveland over the total. Very easy one, 9-4 victory for the Kansas City Royals in that game. I actually think I would probably consider taking a shot with the Royals, too, as a dog. Michael Lorenzen has pitched pretty well his last two starts. He's only given up one run in his last 12.2 innings. He did face the Angels and the Reds, though. This will be a little bit of a tougher assignment here tonight against Cleveland. Gavin Williams has been okay, but not great here his last two outings, 8 runs, 10 hits, 8.1 innings of work. He is 3-0 in his career against the Kansas City Royals. He started 3 games against them last year, and Cleveland won all 3 games. So that being said, Kansas City has hit well the last few games. Cleveland's only 3-7 in their last 10 games. Kansas City, the opposite, 7-3 in their last 10 games. I still think at this price, you're talking being able to take back plus 140, with Kansas City. I would certainly think there's some value in the Royals here at this price tonight. I like the over as well, 8.5. It's gone up to 9. Still think we see that game get up and over the total there, Kansas City and Cleveland. All right, moving along. We have the LA Angels taking on the Detroit Tigers. Johnny Cueto on the mound, reclamation project at this stage of his career for the Angels. And we have Brent Herter, the lefty, on the mound for Detroit. The Tigers minus 160, home favorites, 9.5 shaded to the under. This was the Tigers over 4.5 for me with their team total. That's what I like the most here. I have no problem trying to go against Johnny Cueto. I don't think highly of him at this stage of his career. He only gave up 3 runs in his first start against Kansas City, but 8 hits and 6.1 innings. Royals stranded a bunch of opportunities to add on even more runs in that outing. We'll see what the Tigers can do. And I like the way the Tigers are swinging the bat right now. Now, granted, it was 4 games against the lowly White Sox, but they scored 5 runs or more in all 4 of those games. They've scored 5 or more 5 of their last 6 games. So I think getting to this over 4.5 and getting to at least 5 runs tonight is certainly doable for the Detroit Tigers against a pitcher in Johnny Cueto that I don't have the greatest amount of respect for at this stage of his career. And not to mention, too, we know the Angels' bullpen is always capable of giving up runs late. They have a 4.63 bullpen ERA. So I think Detroit, for their team, is what I like the most here in this, which you can get over 4.5 at around minus 135 in this one. All right, Houston and Philadelphia. Good interleague matchup here. Justin Verlander and Nola. And Nola. Aaron Nola for the Phillies. Philadelphia minus 140. Home favorites, 9 the total here, shaded to the under in this game. I kind of think there's a little value with the Astros as a dog in this price range. And obviously last night they suffered a tough loss in extra innings against Philly, 3-2, bounce back spot. But they are 0-2, or Verlander did lose his first start back in the rotation against Boston, 2 runs, 4 hits, 5 innings. And the one thing that might keep me off Houston is the fact that Aaron Nola's form the last 2 starts against Washington and Atlanta, very good. 2 runs in his last 11.2 innings of work. Phillies won both of those games as well. So bounce back spot for Houston. You're getting them at a nice little underdog price here, plus 120. I lean that way, but I haven't pulled the trigger on it just yet here in this one. Total's been bumped up a little bit here. Nola, it really depends on how he fares. He does historically usually pitch a little bit better at home. We'll have to see what we get from Verlander, who is, decent, not phenomenal, not terrible either in his first outing. So we need a little more of a sample size there, but I would lean a little bit to the Astros as a dog, although I don't think I'm going to be actually pulling the trigger on that from a side perspective. All right, Oakland, Cincinnati. Mitchell Spence and Jacob Junis back in a starting rotation here out of the blue for the Cincinnati Reds. We've got Cincinnati minus 145 home favorites, 9.5 up to 10 the total. I could see that with the way that, obviously we're talking about a hitter-friendly ballpark. Mitchell Spence's numbers have kind of declined here in recent outings. And I can't say I'm ready to fully put my faith and confidence in Jacob Junis making this spot start here for the Reds. Like I said, Mitch Spence has a 4.67 ERA. Junis, not someone I think at this stage of his career I'm ready to trust fully. So I think you could make a decent case for runs in this game. It's going to be a really hot, humid night in Cincinnati, 94 degrees Fahrenheit, certainly good hitting conditions. So this over's taking money, and I can't really disagree with it. Over 9.5 up to 10. I could see runs both ways there when it comes to the Athletics and the Reds. All right, Yankees and Nationals. Garrett Cole, Patrick Corbin, the pitching matchup. Yankees minus 260, road favorites, 9 the total in this game. Yankees obviously got the job done last night, but they're squeezing you a little bit. I mean, they should be able to hit Patrick Corbin, but normally I'm automatic fade when it comes to Patrick Corbin, but I'll give him credit. His last 2 starts, he's been a little bit better, 3 runs allowed in his last 10.1 innings. His numbers are actually okay against the Yankees historically. He's faced them 3 times. He's given up 7 runs in 18 innings. It's not terrible, and he's won 2 of those 3 games. So we'll see how Corbin fares. The Yankees are not always a reliable lineup against lefties one game to the next either. You have to factor that in. And by the way, their team total, which I did take a look at, is 5.5. So they've got to get 6 in order to cash that. And of course, they only scored 5 last night. Even though they won, they only scored 5 runs last night in the win against Washington. Garrett Cole's been really good. I mean, nothing at all to say in a negative fashion with the way he's pitched. Here in the month of August, he has pitched 23 innings, and he has given up 3 runs. That's pretty good. Over the month of August here for Garrett Cole. Certainly has the capability to shut down this Nationals team, which only scored 2 runs against Nestor Cortez and the Yankees last night. So this would be one where the Yankees probably win the game, but it's difficult to find value. Even the minus 1.5, you got to lay minus 160. There's just no value. So Yankees probably win, but you don't have to force a bet when there's very little value on the Yankees side when it comes to that game. All right. We continue along. We've got Toronto and Boston next up. Yariel Rodriguez for the Blue Jays and Cooper Criswell for the Red Sox, the slumping Red Sox. Man, are they in a bad way right now. Boston minus 140, home favorites. The total at 9.5. To me, it's take Toronto. It is. You dare this Red Sox team to snap out of this funk. There's really not a part of their game that's really clicking right now. Their starting pitching hasn't been great. The bullpen's been a disaster for the better part of the last several weeks. The offense has kind of sputtered a little bit at times, even of late, and they've played some horrible team defense. If you actually watch the way they played last night, if you watch the way they played in the field last night, the Boston Red Sox, you could have seen some better fielding and defense and fundamentals in the field from some of these great Little League World Series teams in Williamsport over the weekend, like Chinese Taipei and that Florida team that won. I swear, they fielded the fucking ball better than what you're seeing from the Red Sox lately. I mean, their team defense has been atrocious. It's been a disgrace, really. And that has really been a big problem with them as far as their recent slide, where they've now lost 4 in a row, just 2-6 in their last 8 games. Meanwhile, you look at the Blue Jays, and better late than never. Well, if you're a Blue Jays fan, you're thinking, where was this in April and May when we were still in the hunt, when it still mattered? But right now, they got a lot of young players and getting opportunity, and it's a great energy they've got. 5 straight wins, very impressive 7-2 in their last 9 games. They win the first game of the doubleheader and the second game of the doubleheader, sweeping it yesterday. They go to Yariel Rodriguez. Now, the one concern is the Blue Jays are 0-5 in Yariel Rodriguez's last 5 starts. They've not been winning with him on the mound, and in the last 2 starts in particular against the Reds and the Cubs, he did not pitch all that great. 9 runs in 9.1 innings. So is this the night Boston comes back? But Cooper Criswell for the Red Sox, he's pitched very well in his last 2 starts. There's a lot of indicators that say he's not quite pitching to the level that you see in the last 2 games, that he's probably due for a little bit of a correction, a little bit of a regression. And for me, until proven otherwise, Boston's not a team I'm looking to lay a price like this with. So I'd maybe look at a Jays money line and or team total over 4.5. I think they're both probably worth a look. And it's worth noting, as I said, the Boston bullpen just hasn't been good either the last several games. Big problems from that relief corps. And full game over also, I think, could get there. Not a big fan of Criswell. And the one thing that concerns me about Yariel is a decline in his pitching the last 2 games. So we'd probably look at that over as far as this total sitting at 9.5. All right, we move along now. Next up, Atlanta and Minnesota. Spencer Schwellenbach and Simeon Woods Richardson for Minnesota. Even money, 8 the total. Braves romped in the first game of this series. They might win again here because I like Schwellenbach. His numbers have been very good. Is excellent. His form right now is really what you want to see from him. Simeon Woods Richardson for Minnesota. He's actually given up 2 runs or less in 3 straight starts. Home numbers for him this year at Target Field, 3.29. Pretty solid overall. But boy, I'm a big fan of Schwellenbach, what I've seen. Atlanta, to me, is starting to get things going a little bit. I like the way they've played 7-2 their last 9 games. Minnesota's kind of gone the other way. So I think the better team at the moment, the team in better form at the moment is Atlanta with a pitcher that's been very good in Schwellenbach. So at this price, I would look to the Braves if I were to get involved in it. All right, we move along. Next up, San Francisco and Milwaukee. Logan Webb for the San Francisco Giants. Tobias Myers for the Brewers. Milwaukee minus 115 home favorites, 7.5 the total in this game. Tobias Myers, decent numbers overall, I would say. 2.87 ERA, pretty solid. Logan Webb, 3.13 ERA. Not always as sharp or effective away from San Francisco, though. That's always been something that has been a bit of a bugaboo, bit of an issue at times for Logan Webb. But I will say this. The one road start here he's made in his last 4. The others were in San Francisco, and he was terrific. But even in Washington, gave up just 1 run in 5.2 innings. We'll see, though, if that can carry over to this game. He has pitched well against the Brewers in the past, really well. It's a pretty good Brewers team this year. We'll see if that can carry over. I mean, I think for the fact that Milwaukee's 38-24 at home and San Francisco's 28-38 on the road, and you're only having to lay minus 110, minus 115 with the Brewers, I definitely think there's a little value in the Milwaukee side. Am I running to bet them? No. But I definitely think at this price, just sheer value alone, I would only look toward Milwaukee as very short home favorites here in this game tonight. All right, Texas Rangers, Chicago White Sox. Andrew Heaney, the lefty, Garrett Crochet for the White Sox. Battle of lefties, in fact. Texas minus 135, road favorites, 8.5 being the total in this game. You look at Andrew Heaney, his recent performances, kind of struggled back-to-back against Minnesota and the Yankees, but bounced back, shut out Pittsburgh in 5 innings in his last start. 3-0, the Texas Rangers in Andrew Heaney's starts against the White Sox. But Garrett Crochet, for a team that's only won 31 games this year, all of a sudden, the last 2 times Crochet has taken the mound for the White Sox, they've won the game. White Sox are 2-0 in his last 2 starts, and they beat Houston and they beat San Francisco in those games. So it's one of those deals where Heaney's in good form. They've been winning with him, but I don't want to lay quite this kind of a price against a guy in Crochet where the White Sox have been victorious in each of his last 2 starts, and he's pitched better. So this is going to be a pass for me overall when it comes to the Rangers and the White Sox. All right, we continue along. We've got Miami and Colorado. Roderi Munoz for the Marlins, Cal Quantrill for the Rockies. Colorado minus 145, minus 150. Home favorites. 11 is the total, shaded to the over. Probably should see a lot of runs tonight. 11 is always high total when you're talking Coors Field, but Roderi Munoz, man, not someone I trust in this environment. Not when you've given up 5 home runs in your last 5 starts. You've been hammered by hard hit contact. The over is a perfect 5-0 in Roderi Munoz's last 5 starts for the Miami Marlins as well. So he's just not someone in this environment that I can count on, I think, to shut down the Rockies here. Low-scoring affair last night. Rockies with the 3-2 victory. I think we'll probably see something a little bit different here tonight. And Cal Quantrill, what will we get from him in this start? You know, his numbers on the road this year, Cal Quantrill, have been okay, but not great. His home numbers are actually slightly better, but certainly is trending a little bit down as far as his last 3 starts, 5.02 ERA. So I do believe this is an opportunity for the Marlins maybe to do some damage. So I'd probably look at an over 11, minus 120, minus 115 in this game. The over's in play. Maybe a Marlins team total over too, but even at 5.5, but a plus price. And I would certainly, if I'm going to take anything Marlins, it would be the team total. I'm not taking money line because I really do not trust at all Roderi Munoz. It would not surprise me to see the Rockies be able to score some runs against him here as well. All right. Next game on the slate here. We've only got 3 games left now. New York Mets, Arizona Diamondbacks. Sean Manaea for the Mets. A pitching change for Arizona. Was initially supposed to be Eduardo Rodriguez, but now Brandon Pfaadt has been moved into the starting spot for the Diamondbacks here in this game. We've got Arizona. It's pretty much a pick 'em here, even money. Minus 110, both sides. 8.5 the total, shaded to the under. I'm not stepping in front of Arizona. 6 straight wins. They're playing great. I am concerned about this spot, though. 3 straight series on the road. Lots of travel to get back from Boston. Day off yesterday, and now you play tonight. I am worried a rhythm gets thrown off, and sometimes off a long, successful road trip. I've noticed that, it's an angle I talk about in the other sports like hockey and basketball in particular, but don't look past the impact of returning home following a very long, successful road trip in baseball either. And that's what you have here for Arizona. A very good road trip. They're one of the hottest teams going right now, but I am worried this is a spot that might trip them up a little bit, especially when you factor in, Manaea for the Mets has been better here in the last 5 to 6 weeks. He hasn't given up more than 3 runs in any of his last 5 starts. The Mets have been winning with him on the mound, 4-1 for the Mets in Manaea's last 5 starts. Brandon Pfaadt is a guy that usually when he pitches here in Arizona, fares a little bit better than he does on the road. We'll see if that can carry over here. But 3.69 ERA at home this year for Brandon Pfaadt. We'll see if he can keep it rolling. But, this is the only thing that's keeping me off Arizona, because you'd think, wow, they've won 6 in a row. They're back home. They're only laying minus 110. But when you've been traveling that long and it was a successful road trip, and you have the day off too that can throw you out of your regular day-to-day rhythm a little bit, I'm not sure this is the right scheduling situation to take Arizona, even though that price screams at you that it looks cheap with how well they've been playing. But I actually stayed off that when it comes to that game. All right, we move along here. We've only got 2 games left, both of them late night games. Tampa Bay and Seattle. We got Jeffrey Springs, the lefty, for the Rays. Logan Gilbert for the Mariners. Seattle minus 150. Home favorite, 6.5 the total. Total's very low for a reason. These are not two, consistent lineups, consistent offensive teams right now. So just like last night, it wouldn't surprise me to see runs in this game be few and far between. You look at Jeffrey Springs, he's made 4 starts rather, back since rejoining the rotation. He's given up 8 runs in his last 18.2 innings. That's actually pretty solid overall. Meanwhile, you got Logan Gilbert, who has been a very, very clear and very, very obvious home-road dichotomy split pitcher, especially lately. 3.21 ERA overall. But you start to look at these recent road starts for Gilbert. In LA against the Dodgers, 8 runs in 4.2 innings. In Pittsburgh, 4 runs, 5 hits, 6.1 innings. In Boston, 7 runs, 2.2 innings. But look at the starts in Seattle. The last 2 starts here in Seattle for Logan Gilbert. 1 run in 6 innings against a damn good Phillies lineup, and a 7-inning, 3-hit shutout against the New York Mets. So 1 run allowed in his last 13 innings of work at home for Logan Gilbert. And then you factor in the way the Mariners have played since the managerial change. They're now 3-1. They're playing with a little momentum, pep in their step. Bats are starting to swing again in the last 2 victories. They have gotten the little bit of a bump, if you will, from making the change at manager. And I think they can continue to be a bet-on team right now, the Mariners. Maybe riding the wave of momentum here following the firing of Scott Service last week. So I think Seattle's the side here. It's a little pricey, I will admit, talking around minus 150, even minus 155 at some spots right now. But I do think the Mariners, if you're willing to lay that price with the money line, that is still the way I would go in that game. All right, final game of this Tuesday slate, and it's a pretty good one in interleague action. Baltimore Orioles, LA Dodgers. Cole Irvin on the mound for the Orioles. Jack Flaherty for the Dodgers. LA Dodgers minus 200. Home favorites, 8.5 the total, shaded to the over. Jack Flaherty has been a good source of winners for me pretty much all season long. We've backed him quite a bit. He hasn't been nearly as dominant as he was earlier in the season with some of his last few starts, but he's still been pitching pretty solid and giving his team a chance, giving up 5 runs in his last 10.2 innings of work. We'll see if Flaherty can pitch well here tonight in this game against the Orioles, who send Cole Irvin to the mound, coming off a return to the rotation for him in his last outing against the New York Mets. 2 runs, 5 hits, 4.1 innings. Not the greatest numbers, but could do a lot worse here as well. Baltimore, meanwhile, they split the 4-game series at home against Houston last week, but they lost 2 of 3 to the Mets on the road. They lost 2 of 3 to Boston. So, Baltimore is kind of leveled off a little bit. They're still obviously very much in the mix to win the AL East. They're still only 2 games behind the New York Yankees for first in the AL East. But no, there's definitely a sign that maybe they've leveled off just a little bit as far as their play is concerned. And then when you look at the Dodgers, Flaherty is just a bet on or pass type of pitcher, but I'm not going to lay minus 200. So maybe a Dodgers first 5 run line you could look at just to try to get some value out of it. But for me, this is going to be a game I stay off. Like I said, I was looking to back the Dodgers and Jack Flaherty here in this game. And of course, the Dodgers coming off that 3-1 win in the series finale against Tampa Bay over the weekend. Dodgers playing well, more so than not, 5-1 in their last 6 games. So again, when Flaherty's on the mound, I usually either bet on him or pass. And based on where the price is here, I decided to pass. It's just too rich for my blood to take the Dodgers here at this number. All right. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Timothy Hake, everyone watching on YouTube, not just YouTube, but Facebook and Twitter X as well here on Bet with Bobano. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Appreciate it very much. And one last time, because the folks at BitWallet want me to reinforce this, and it's worth reinforcing. This is a great crypto sports book. Click that link, bitwallet.bet. We got to get the signups up. bitwallet.bet/affiliate/Ian. I know there's still people that, haven't cozied up to cryptocurrency, maybe don't have any right now. And obviously, if you're in that boat, we don't expect you to sign up. But even if you have just a little cryptocurrency at your disposal, deposit it into an account using the link on the screen, bitwallet.bet/affiliate/Ian. Sign up for an account. You'll get 50% off. It's a great deal. You sign up for an account and you're automatically eligible for a 50% crypto deposit bonus on each of your first 3 crypto deposits at bitwallet.bet. So sign up for an account using the link at the bottom, bitwallet.bet/affiliate/Ian. All right, let's go for best bets here to wrap this show up for a Tuesday. Kansas City Cleveland over was a winner last night. For tonight's best bet, I'm going to go with San Diego, and I don't think I mentioned this game. Oh, it works out perfect. This is the one game I skipped. San Diego, St. Louis, and this is the game I'm using for best bet. San Diego minus 140 road favorites, 8 the total in this game. This is a game I like quite a bit. I like the Padres here. I laid the money line price minus 135. I like Padres team total over 4.5. Smaller bet on the full game over 8 as well, just in case the Cardinals can maybe scratch some runs across, although it's easier said than done against a pitcher like Dylan Cease. But the bottom line is it's a big pitching advantage here for the Padres, and on paper it is. Cease has had the odd tough start, but more often than not, he's been good. And this is more a fade of Michaelis. I'm not a big fan. I know he pitched well against Milwaukee, but that was a bit of a weird start, weird game, early afternoon game. He was getting crushed, getting lit up before that. San Diego is really hitting righty pitchers hard and well over the last few weeks. They're in great form, the Padres, trying to maintain contact with the Dodgers in the chase for first place in the NL West. Definitely have to favor the Padres and Cease over the Cardinals and Michaelis. I'm just deciding what I'm going to use from that as I'm going to go with the team total. Just in case St. Louis, because Cease has had the odd, rougher start since post All-Star break, but I still trust him to get outs more than Michaelis, who I think faces a tough matchup here against a red-hot hitting Padres lineup when it comes to righty pitching. Let's go with that team total on the San Diego Padres. San Diego, team total, over 4.5. You can get that right at even money, plus 100, plus 105. Great price on that. I think the Padres can get 5 runs tonight in this game. So Padres team total, over 4.5, plus 100, plus 105. That will be my best bet here for this Tuesday MLB card. That is a wrap. Appreciate everybody joining us here on Bet with Bobano. Hit the like button on the way out. Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy CFL show will be recorded tomorrow, and we got more college and NFL preview videos this week and next week, and then they'll finally be all done. I'm Ian Cameron. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the games and good luck. Have a great Tuesday night. Bet like Tony Soprano. Bet with Bobano, and we'll see you again tomorrow right here on Bet with Bobano.